So I'm trying to do something a little more coherent after that post-match review, the immediate post-match review. It's been a bit of a nightmare getting out of the stadium at the Emirates. A bit difficult, you know. The police were trying to keep all the fans separated, and so that there wouldn't be any sort of issues, etc. And I get that. It's quite late now, and it's been a decent day. It's been a decent day, but it's Arsenal 0, West Ham United 1. What a performance! And I've got to go through it a little bit more coherently than I did earlier. Team lineup: we played with a 5-3-2 formation, and it made a lot of sense. Areola in goal. We had, I said it, I called it. Kilman playing in a centre of a back three, and in order to accommodate that, Potter had to play a left-sided centre back, and he chose Creswell for that. And Creswell did really well. You've got to give credit where credit's due. Creswell did really well. And then he also played Todibo. He called Todibo back into the starting lineup, and for the 60 odd minutes that Todibo played, it's evident that he can't put in a whole 90 minutes at the moment, and that's fine. That's good man management of players. Todibo started on the right, Wan-Bissaka obviously, and I called it again. Don't want to say I'm some sort of guru, but he put Ollie Scarles in as well. And Ollie Scarles got man of the match, and he absolutely 100% deserved that man of the match award. And then the three in the middle, the 5-3-2, I know a lot of fans were going to go, oh, what's he doing, what's he up to? But he put Souček and James Ward-Prowse and Alvarez in the middle of the back three, in the middle of midfield three. Because I kept suggesting it had to be either James Ward-Prowse or Souček. I wasn't really sure that he'd play both of them, but he did just that, and it worked because we stifled Arsenal. We blocked any sort of potential progression that they had, and it worked. And then the two up front, Kudus and Bowen. So when we got an outlet, that's where, you know, those two players were there to try and pick up the pieces. Look, it was a defensive-minded performance, but a defensive-minded performance where, when we had the ball, we had the ability to get forward and attack, and that's exactly what we did, because that's the goal. We got the goal from that. You know, and the build-up play to that. I don't know how many passes we had. Had that been any other team who had all that, so many passes to lead up to the goal, everyone would have been waxing lyrical about it. And I just wonder whether we're going to be given the credit that's due in terms of how many passes we had in order to the build-up for that goal. And Declan Rice let the ball go. You know, right in the middle of the 18-yard box, Declan Rice, it came across. Declan Rice didn't go for it, and who was behind? Jared Bowen to nod it home. 1-0 to West Ham before half-time. Probably the only chance we got in the first half, but who the hell cares? I keep saying to you all, it doesn't matter how many chances you get, it's how many you actually convert. And that was probably, as far as I remember, the only opportunity we had at goal. But we won 1-0. And I can't remember how many chances Arsenal had. They had a hell of a lot of possession, but I can't recall how many opportunities that Arsenal had at goal. I can't remember Areola having to pull off a save throughout the whole game, and it was superb. Our defensive performance today, look, a bit more defensive than I would have liked, I'm not going to lie. When Arsenal went a player down, we should have had the momentum, and we should have had much more of the ball, but we didn't. And I'm going to give Arsenal credit where credit's due. You know, they kept at it, they kept going for it, they kept pushing the ball forward, and even when they went a man down, they kept going to try and get a goal, and fair play to them, but it didn't happen. I would have liked to have seen us gain more control of the game, but our defensive display was superb, and in that respect I was really pleased. Why can't we play like that at home? I guess it's the next question. Why can't we put a performance like that in at home, and why do we have to wait for away games to put in performances like that? But look, an absolutely crucial 3 points. We're on 30. We're now 13 points away from the drop zone. I genuinely don't think any of the bottom 3 teams are going to win 4 games more than us this season. So we're kind of safe. And now, maybe just another win against Leicester will just secure it, and then Graham Potter could start looking at the team and start saying to himself, right, what is it I need to do to try and understand where I need to go with this team for next season? And I think maybe after we get another 3 points, he's likely to look a bit more at the team, look at a bit more certain players, try and give opportunities to other players to sort of like have a, to show what they're capable of doing. And that will give him some guidance as to what he needs to do in the summer. Look, Ollie Scarles is a first team footballer now. The display that he put in today against Arsenal was absolutely superb. The challenges he put in, etc. He's got still a bit to learn, but hey, what player at his age doesn't have to learn something? Even a 30-year-old footballer sometimes has to learn some things. You never stop learning, do you? James Ward-Prowse in the middle of the park was absolutely superb. I thought he was great, and James Ward-Prowse was absolutely superb today. And you've got to ask yourself, what did Lopetegui not see in him that to allow him to go? He was good today. Souček was all over the park. Everyone keeps talking about Souček as if he's the worst footballer we've ever had at West Ham United, and yet he put his heart and soul into this game today. Yet again, another superb performance. Kudus did really well. Look, Kudus, in the second half, he was free. All he had to do, he was looking up to see if he can square it off to, I don't know who it was, Bowen or whatever, or was it Ferguson? He should have just whacked it, and we would have been 2-0 up when he was free. There's not a player that I can say played really badly. Aaron Wan-Bissaka played really well. Kilman in the centre of our back 3 played really well. Cresswell, who again people go, oh my God, Cresswell, played really well. Todibo, when he was on until he got sub, played well. Mavropanos, who came on, even he played really well. There's not a player that I can say was bad. Well done, West Ham. This is the sort of thing that we want. This is the sort of performance that we want to see on a regular basis. I don't know what the performance is going to be like on Thursday against Leicester, but if we can get a result against Leicester, then we're kind of like, we're home and dry, and then we can start relaxing a bit, and it almost doesn't matter what happens after that. Look, fantastic. Look, Arsenal, without Odegaard, they've got nothing. I don't think Areola had a shot to save. He had one shot, take it back, in the first half, where a ball went straight at him and he just held on to it. He didn't even have to dive or anything. But other than that, I don't think he was troubled. His distribution leaves a lot to be desired, but let's work on that, shall we? West Ham United, I keep telling you all, this is the beauty of football. The beauty of football is you do not know what to expect. How many of us, it was a 10-1 at the bookies for us to get a result today. How many of us did actually expect it to get a result, to get a win? I bet no one did. And yet here we are, Saturday evening, and we've gone away with 3 points against Arsenal after having a really disappointing game against Brentford last weekend. We move on. Leicester next, and we see what happens there. Well done, West Ham. Really, really pleased. Really, really pleased for the players. Really pleased for Ollie Scarles for getting man of the match. And we see what goes on from here on in.